for entertainment purposes only. TikTok.
Andrew, you dug into both the emails sent between the two, Epstein and Gates, and the meetings listed in the Justice Department files. Can you tell us what that showed?
Well, what also stands out, Aaron, is how much Epstein was advising Gates on his philanthropic strategy more than previously known. And it appears in at least one of those emails that Gates took Epstein's advice seriously. For instance, an email exchange from August 2014 shows Gates and Epstein discussing Gates' approach to philanthropy. Epstein wrote to Gates, I am confident that with the right approach, you'll be able to raise at least $100 billion. Everyone of hyper wealth is dealing with the same issues. How to give some away? I can see that selling yourself is not your strong point, to which Gates replied, I agree, I should not use slides or even do a presentation. I do think a bit about how surprised I am at how tough doing good philanthropy is, and what really has worked might be interesting to them. I will find a time for us to talk this week. Those were not the only meetings, according to Epstein's calendars and emails, which we went through. Epstein's email listed a dinner with Gates in December 2010, a possible lunch in February 2011, followed by a dinner in April and October 2011. The records also show a planned meeting in Norway in August 2012, another a week later, two meetings in February 2013, a possible dinner in September 2013 in which Epstein extended an invite to a Norwegian diplomat. We also saw a Google Calendar reminder for a Skype meeting with Gates in January 2014, a meeting and a phone call in September 2014. And there's also this February 2011 message where Epstein emailed an individual whose name is redacted saying, quote, you and I are invited to Seattle to spend serious time with Bill Gates. And again, Aaron, all of this occurring years after his 2008 conviction.
Yeah, years after that, of course, when, and you know, as he was registered sex offender
already,
sex offender. Okay. Now, Melinda French Gates and Bill Gates' ex-wife, they're divorced now. She broke her silence this week, and she was candid about Epstein in the sense of what that did, that entire thing did to their marriage. And she talked about how she felt seeing her ex-husband as the subject of those draft emails, and in all these other mentions of how, so those draft emails that you went through that are you know, too disgusting to recount. Here she is.
Whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me. And I'm able to take my own sadness and look at those young girls and say, my God, how did that happen to those girls, right? And so for me, it's just sadness for, you know, I left my marriage. I had to leave my marriage. I wanted to leave my marriage. I had to leave I felt I needed to eventually leave the foundation. For me, I've been able to move on in life, and I hope there's some justice for those now women.
I mean, that was incredibly powerful. Your reporting suggests that Epstein appeared to be aware of the fact that Melinda Gates was uncomfortable with his relationship with Bill Gates.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Aaron. Remember, too, the Wall Street Journal previously reported Bill Gates' association with Epstein was a factor in their divorce, and we found a February 2017 text exchange between Epstein and a redacted intermediary who wrote about Gates. He wants to talk to you, but his wife won't let him. That same intermediary wrote to Gates then, wrote to Epstein that Gates, quote, loves you and says hi, but made clear that Melinda objected to continued contact. Epstein then suggested Melinda connect with Kathy Rumler, that's a former Obama White House counsel, and a friend of Epstein's to reassure Melinda. He said, Bill met my friend Kathy Rumler, Obama counsel for 5 years. She would love to sit with Melinda and give her the other side of Jeffrey. Epstein wrote, adding, she is, quote, an arch feminist who is my great defender. Now, Rumler previously told CNN that she never met with Melinda Gates. The redacted individual then replied about this exchange, not sure individuals can influence once impressions are made, but I will try. I do not know for sure, but I do not think he would be unwilling to bring it up with her.
New details from the released Epstein files revealing the deceased pedophile's wide-reaching global network of the rich and powerful. Remember, it was August 2006 when Palm Beach police went public with their investigation. August 2006 when police said Epstein had committed unlawful sex acts with and lewd and lascivious molestation of 5 underage girls. 2006. Epstein would, a couple years later, be convicted on 2 counts of solicitation of prostitution, one of those counts involving a minor. So that's 2008. Yet, these individuals associated with Epstein years after those facts were well known. So today, let's start with a prominent name with which you might not be familiar, Brad Karp, the now former chairman of Paul Weiss, one of the nation's top corporate law firms, representing some of the biggest companies in the world. Karp abruptly resigned yesterday following the release of his email exchanges with Jeffrey Epstein, such as this 2015 email in which Karp profusely thanked Epstein for hosting him, writing, quote, "I can't thank you enough for including me in an email I'll never forget. It was truly once in a lifetime in every way, though I hope to be invited again," unquote. Epstein responded, writing, quote, "You are always welcome. There are many, many nights of unique talents. You will be invited often," unquote. Unique talents. These sort of cringy, chummy emails between Epstein and Karp continued as recently as February 2019. That's the year that Epstein showed up dead in his cell, later ruled a suicide. And only months before he would face a second set of criminal charges for sex trafficking minors. In a previous statement to the Wall Street Journal, the Paul Weiss firm said, quote, "Mr. Karp never witnessed or participated in any misconduct. Mr. Karp had 2 group dinners in New York City and had a small number of social interactions by email, all of which he regrets." I bet he does. Karp's own statement says, quote, "Recent reporting has created a distraction and has placed a focus on me that is not in the best interests of the firm." Despite stepping down as chairman, the law firm says Karp, quote, "will continue to focus his full-time attention to client service at the firm." We're also getting our first look at the hundreds of friendly text messages between Epstein and former Trump advisor, MAGA Svengali Steve Bannon. They include crude sexual jokes about women and Trump and discussions on countless other topics. Put together, the communications suggest a much closer relationship between the two that was widely understood. There's also a nearly 2-hour-long, largely sympathetic interview filmed around 2019 that Bannon conducted with Epstein, which was reportedly originally intended to be part of a documentary intended to, we believe, rehabilitate Epstein's image as something other than a pedophile and predator and trafficker in child rape. Several exchanges from the interview stand out, such as this one where Epstein is asked about being a sex offender.
What are you, class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
Was tier 1's the highest and worst?
No, I'm
The lowest?
I'm the lowest.
You're the
yes.
lowest. Okay, tier 1, you're the lowest. But a criminal.
Yes.
Bannon has not responded to CNN's request for comment. We should note that Bannon has not been accused of any criminal wrongdoing in connection.
I guess all of us actual human beings need to demon hunter up to stop the elites. In order to release the full confidential Epstein file list, I believe the world needs to stand up and stop this evil billionaire. Corporation behind human trafficking. Where is our Katniss Everdeen commitment? Ask yourselves, are you for evil or good?